Keir Starmer, I think you're a fucking wanker.
We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. I want you to get mad. I want you to get mad. I want you to get mad.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, we stand here today as proud English men and women, steadfast in our resolve to uphold our constitutional and common law rights as subjects of this great nation, England. These rights, enshrined by our own English Convention Parliament and safeguarded by the English Bill of Rights, include a supremacy clause that no foreign court or convention can override. We assert our fundamental right to protest peacefully, a right woven into the fabric of our history, from the peasants' revolt started in Essex to Peterloo, Manchester. The people of Essex once repelled a Napoleonic invasion. As an English town, we declare that we will not consent to governance that endangers our communities. In response to the misinformation and propaganda disseminated by the British Broadcasting Corporation and others, we refuse to pay the television licence fee. Furthermore, we will not pay council tax. As non-payment of taxes has long been a legitimate form of protest.
But then we find out as well that relatives coming to Britain at the moment can claim benefits immediately upon arrival and don't need to speak English. What on earth is that about? If I rolled up in any other country saying that such and such is a blood relative, my husband, my cousin, it doesn't matter, they wouldn't say, oh, here's a house, we'll pay for this, we'll pay for that. Most other countries have a policy of you've got to be contributing to the system for at least 5 years before you can benefit from the welfare state. But oh no, here it's like, oh well, you poor thing coming from whichever, hellhole in the developing world that you might have emerged from, have everything, we'll pay for you.
I mean, it's a complete and utter joke, and everybody knows it's a joke. All ordinary people know it's a joke. There's a sort of hard core on the left that seem to be completely in denial about how utterly crazy this is and how very few, if any, countries on the entire planet treat immigration in this way. Why not? Because you're not actually a country if you have no borders, and it becomes less meaningful to be a citizen of a country if anyone who comes in is entitled to all the same things. I think that a strong leader would not be ashamed to say that they are putting British citizens ahead, clearly ahead of newcomers, and particularly newcomers who are completely dependent on the state from the absolute get-go. There's nothing that controversial about that, I don't think. That's how you maintain good community relations rather than breed resentment amongst the people who are having to pay for everything.
Right, that's the definition of a country. If it's like anyone from anywhere comes and gets to just get what they like, claim that they need this and that and are entitled to it, then you don't have a country. You've got an international NGO. You've basically got a charity for the world's poor. And yes, we should all be good people and sympathise with those who live in poverty or those who in countries that are war-ridden. But I don't understand why the established elite seems to think it's our responsibility to have to do something about all of this. And this story really sticks in my craw, this next one, because, the age of 41, grand old age of 41, I've finally been able to get on the housing ladder, and I have toiled. I've done 100-hour weeks. I've been in the sort of professions where wind the clock back 20 years ago and I'd have been living in London with my own house quite easily. But the way things have gone in the present day, it's just impossible for anyone of my generation, unless mummy and daddy can bequeath you a lot of money, even if you're having a 6-figure salary or whatever, to ever be able to buy your own house. So I now live, wonderfully back in the Shire. My commute to London, therefore, is, pretty exhausting, I can tell you that much. But then I find out that asylum seekers have been given there's a row of these houses, £300,000 townhouses, newly built, ensuite bathrooms, EV charging points, underfloor heating, £300,000 a pop. And then instead of Brits being able to buy these houses because, oh yes, we've got a housing shortage, we need to build, there's so much demand. No, some characters who no one knows who they are or why they seem to deserve this just because their own government is rubbish, are being put in this for free. Rental value of £1,200 a month. And the likes of me, the likes of you, the likes of Alison from Kent who's messaged, and Becca in Norfolk, and Janice in Clacton who's on the line waiting to speak, and everybody else listening to the show is paying for these people to go straight into new build properties, luxury properties worth £300,000. Just every time I find more and more examples of this stuff, the more enraged I get.
So, okay, what a shock. What a shock. Lord Justice Bean at the High Court said
Justice
the High Court ruling
Bean?
by Mr. Justice Eyre failed to consider the challenges of relocating the migrants. Well, I'm sorry, how's that our problem?
Exactly, yeah.
They shouldn't be here.
Fucking duh. Yes, absolutely.
The judge's approach ignores the obvious consequence that the closure of one site's capacity means capacity needs to be identified elsewhere in the system. Too bad. Deport them. They shouldn't be here.
Yeah, they should. Exactly. That should be the end of the conversation. Should be that is, are they supposed to be here? No? Okay, then they have to leave. Period. Done. Over. Finished.
And yeah, it does look like the rights of the illegal immigrants are being put above the rights of the British people.
They absolutely are. And the government is acting in their best interest. Every dollar that's allocated to helping house a migrant is a dollar that's not being allocated towards helping house a British person or an American or a French person, depending on what country it is. Like, you live in a world of finite resources and you live in a world of finite money. Like, there's scarcity in the world. You can't just have infinite, everybody has everything. That doesn't work. It's not like a video game.
Highly true. That is what it looks like. And it seems to be the actual case of the matter.
It's our tax
money. The actual facts seem to be.
Yeah, they take the money away from you, but by threat of force with your taxes, and then they redistribute the money that they force you to give them to random fucking third worlders that show up to your country, and they don't even care. They don't even speak your fucking language. They don't speak your language. They don't care about your culture. They don't care about your tradition. They just want to live in your country. It's outrageous.
That's what they're doing. And again, you've got to remember.
At what point is this not treason?
You know, these aren't exactly good guys as far as we can tell. But Lord Bean said...
I'm sure some of them are. I mean, like, again, it's the same with anything, right? Where, like, the majority of these migrants probably aren't doing anything wrong. But the issue is that the amount of them that's doing anything wrong should be zero because the number of them coming over should be zero. It's a completely unforced error that shouldn't even be happening in the first place. You should not even open the door for this to have been a problem at all.
This was worrying.
Is there any solution for this?
Yes, if an outbreak
send
of
them
protest
back.
enhances a case, this runs the risk of acting as an impetus for further protests, some of which may be disorderly around asylum accommodation.
Oh, no.
There's a risk of encouraging lawlessness.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that telling people, no, you have to have the rapists in your community within walking distance of a school is definitely not going to cause any protests. I mean, that's the...
No, why would people be mad about that?
That's what's been causing the protests so far. But I'm absolutely certain that you telling everyone to shut up and suck it up is definitely going to stop the protests. And this is genuinely what they're worried about. And unsurprisingly, it's what they're worried about, because I think it's going to continue to happen. In fact, we know it is. It's already happening. But this is just one of those things where you can't help but feel that when they say it's not equal, they're not wrong.
Well, it's
but
obvious.
The problem is the locus of their attention, right? So as you can see, Piers Riley Smith for Somani Hotels, they own the Bell Hotel, said this risks precedent being set. Well, yeah, but obviously you'd be against it because the government is bribing you, paying you.
Yeah, of course.
To host migrants in the hotels. So Why would we listen to you?
Well, yeah. Oh, wow. What a big surprise. The guy who's getting paid by the government to, house all these people and effectively guarantee him business is in favor of the government guaranteeing him business. Wow. What a huge shock. Yeah. Let's interview a person who is completely dependent on this happening in order to make money. Like, what a ridiculous. Why would you even ask them? Of course they're going to be in favor in it.
I want you to get mad.
Keir Starmer, I think you're a fucking wanker.